Hey everyone, I'll be covering all of the Nintendo Switch's game announcements for the first week of September, so let's get started. During the Direct, we got confirmation that Monolith Soft is working on Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. This remake looks to bring the game into the engine used for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, changing the look of the characters, enhancing the world's visuals, adding new areas, and much more. Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE Encore is support of the Atlas JRPG that released on the Wii U. This version is looking to include new playable characters, new story components, an all-new dungeon, and several quality of life changes. Blizzard has confirmed that Overwatch Legendary Edition will run at 30 frames per second, 900p docked, and 720p in handheld with no dynamic resolution. Voice chat is available via the Blizzard servers, so no app is needed. There is a physical release, but the box doesn't actually contain a cartridge. 20 classic Super Nintendo titles are now available for Nintendo Switch Online owners at no extra charge. They come with the rewind feature, solo and online play options, just like the NES titles, and even more games will be added in the future. Koei Tecmo is working on a new RPG based on the popular manga and anime series Fairy Tail. Start your journey in the land of Fior and play through the adventures of Natsu and the gang taking on quests and objectives in an all-new story. The third-person team-based shooter Rogue Company lets you play as an elite mercenary in PvP matches and multiplayer mayhem. Hi-Res Studios is aiming for 60 frames per second across all consoles with crossplay included. Super Kirby Clash is a free-to-start Monster Hunter-esque Kirby title where you fight notorious Kirby bosses in over 100 quests, swap classes, gather loot, and become more powerful and move on to your next objective. Deadly Premonition 2, A Blessing in Disguise, is an open-world game set in a small town, where FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan will revisit cases he solved all the way back in 2005, jumping back and forth between the present and the past. But Access Games wasn't done there. Deadly Premonition Origins is a director's cut of the original game that was also shadow dropped in the eShop right after the Direct. Officially revealed as Little Town Hero, Game Freak's newest RPG launches October 16th. Set in a small closed-off village, monsters make their way in to cause havoc. Axe, a young man, takes responsibility to drive them back with the help of everyone who's willing to aid him. A new Under Night and Birth game from Arc System Works is hitting the Switch in 2020. This is a sequel to the popular fighting series that will include new playable characters, balanced updates, and new modes. Releasing December 6th, Assassin's Creed The Rebel Collection includes a bundling of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag and Assassin's Creed Rogue with all of their single-player DLC included into one cartridge. Switch-specific touch controls, HD rumble, gyro controls, and optimized HUD and visuals are included. Chronos is an atmospheric RPG that chronicles one young hero's lifelong quest to save their homeland from great evil. Play through this hero's entire life as you see him age in real time and grow his skills to eventually diminish as age takes its toll. Brigadine: The Legend of Runersia is a Switch exclusive and a remake of a 20-year-old strategy RPG with turn-based battles set in a fantasy world. 6 countries have waged war with each other and you must decide their fate in over 40 story missions. In a collaboration between Lucasfilm and Aspyr, Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast and Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy are hitting the eShop later this year. These 2 fan-favorite titles will include online multiplayer and gyro controls. Square Enix is bringing Dragon Quest II Luminaries of the Legendary Line, and Dragon Quest III The Seeds of Salvation to the Switch in Japan September 27th. These ports are based on the current 3DS and PS4 versions with revamped visuals and menus. Shadow dropped on the eShop, Battle Supremacy Ground Assault is a tactical tank simulator that puts you right in the driver's seat to carry out a variety of missions online and off, where you can customize your tank and take out the competition in dynamically changing maps. The award-winning puzzle adventure game set in the mysterious castle, The Eye of Ara, brings us labyrinths full of secrets to the Switch with specific features like touch controls, gyro, and one Joy-Con support. The first-person mystery adventure game based on exploration and logical deduction, Return of the Obra Dinn, is a critically acclaimed indie title where asserting the damages of a voyage is your priority. The PUBG-esque Knives Out is a 5-player group shooter where trusting your teammates is the key to victory. Collide with other squads in fast-paced combat in vehicles all over the map, featuring several modes like sniper battles, 50 vs 50s, and squads. Capcom continues trickling their old ports. This time is Devil May Cry 2, seeing an eShop release on September 19th. No word yet on pricing. This side-scrolling action platformer with hand-drawn animation, Greak: Memories of Azur, lets you control 3 siblings that must be guided through the land, alternate controls between them, and use unique abilities to escape tricky situations and solve puzzles. Join the Primate Observation Club where you'll observe the lives of caged monkeys and analyze their every movement. and do not feed the monkeys. Spy on, extort, expose, and sabotage this organization's dreams, or go along and help them when the release is November 8th. Balance Breakers is an easy-to-learn battle-based party game with up to 4 players. Face attacks from opponents, bosses, and dominate the land to take their treasure. A single-player campaign with co-op is also in the works. Moon is a remix RPG adventure and a cult hit, turning in traditional tropes on their head. Why is it okay for a hero to murder thousands of enemies, and why can you rummage through NPCs' homes freely? Those are the questions you need answers to. The original Doom 64 was considered a sequel to Doom 2, and it included 32 brand new maps, redone artwork, and tweaks to many of its weapons. The Switch version will have high resolution and widescreen options to its classic gameplay. Explore the Kingdom of Eternia, making friends and foes in the puzzle quest The Legend Returns. This Mach 3 puzzler includes tons of added DLC and an all-new Switch exclusive expansion. The famous romance juvenile adventure RPG from the SNES era, Kowloon Yuma Gakuen Ki, is getting reworked for the Switch release in Japan next year, changing story components, new visual changes, and new characters. Studio F is currently working on their newest JRPG, Segment Breakers. The developers have said on Twitter that this project was just greenlit and performance is looking promising on the hybrid console. The direct sequel to Inferno Plus, Inferno 2, kicks things up to another level. Blast through 80 levels of atmospheric shifting worlds and customize your loadout and arsenal. Play alone or via co-op with friends and discover tons of secrets. Fight through randomly generated levels with fast-paced twin-stick combat against chaotic spaceships. Collect power-ups and permanent upgrades to survive an atomic heist. During the Japanese Direct, Meigs announced they're working on 2 classic adventure games that came to the Famicom all the way back in 1988 and 1989. Famicom Tantei Club 1 and 2 will release sometime next year. Picking up where previous entries left off, Mamoru Knight Serenade is an arcadey 2D pixel art brawler where swarms of enemies and bosses will attempt to take the princess and you must protect her at all costs. Konami announced that Momotaro Densetsu is releasing on Switch in 2020. Taking clues from Mario Party, this local co-op versus party game is full of mini games to play with up to 4 users. Koroba no Puzzle Encore is a re-release of an arcade puzzle game released by Namco in 2001. Combine blocks to create words in over 800 stages. Originally released on the Vita in 2016, Setai Kaikyu Gakuen is a popular visual novel that is getting an enhanced port on the Switch with added CG scenes, new dialogue, branching paths, and rework artwork. The open-world driving combat game Fury Road Survivor pins fast cars with weapons versus slow armor vehicles or stunt racers and anything in between. It's crazy road mayhem with destructible environments. Fall in Love, the Knight Brothers is getting a Switch release alongside its mobile port later this year. Meet, get to know, and romance a group of brothers in a love story with quirky comedy. Scheduled to make its first appearance at Tokyo Game Show 2019, Quantum Suicide is a visual novel from Cotton Candy Cyanide Studios that will launch this winter for Switch. Indie developer Enkel is bringing 2 of their projects onto the Switch, starting with Heaven's Vault, which is an ambitious open-world adventure with massive branching storylines and a language to decipher. Followed by 80 Days, which is getting a fully optimized touchscreen functionality and 1 Joy-Con support. And that's what the game announcements will be covering this week. The Direct was fantastic, and it had a refreshing mix of new announcements with some ports and some surprises that no one saw coming. It was really a good watch. So with all that said, as per always, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate the support, and be sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. See ya!